Wow, remember this?
Welcome to Skojo's Lick of the Week. I'm going to play this one for you first, then we're going to talk about it. We got the Mets at 132 beats a minute. Here we go.
I look good.
1, 2, 3, Let's do that again. There we go. 1, 2, 3, Let's talk about it a little bit. Let's look at that first bar.
So let's talk about it. This was 14 years ago, I think, 2005, 2006. I created this thing called Skojo's Lick of the Week with some help of some great friends. What we're going to do here at the ZILDJIAN Workout, this is going to be for the advanced level. And the whole Lick of the Week thing came about, like I said, in 2005 or 2006. And the original concept was to do exercises every week, like 8 on a hand, accent tap, a double beat, some form of exercises to help out students, to help out drummers, marching percussionists, whatever we want to call ourselves. And there was already some of those on the internet. And this was when you can first start loading videos onto your phones. I had a flip phone. And so you can now download a 30-minute TV series on your phone to watch, or a lick, or a drum thing, or whatever it is. It was just possible now to do that. So that was the intent, is to get lessons on phones. And I had another idea. Instead of doing the lessons, since there was already plenty of them out there, let's do some fighter pilot stuff. Let's do some Lick of the Week things. Let's do some very advanced, rudimental marching percussion licks. And they're only about 2 bars, some 4 bars. So they're real short. But it was all about the fighter pilots. Let's get some cool stuff in there. And the most requested one that I have is called the Hero Lick. And it was literally the #1, Skojo's Lick of the Week #1 out of 56, I think we did. So the very first one is the most requested that I get at trade shows, hanging out in parking lots, with students. They play the Hero Lick with me, play the Hero Lick with me. And a lot of you are playing it wrong. So what's funny about the videos of the Lick of the Week, when I look back at them now, 15 years ago, I play the lick, and then I go, let's slow it down a little bit. And literally, I think I slow it down maybe 1 or 2 clicks. I'm sorry, I apologize. It's so bad. But it was like the first time I did these videos. It's the first time I was performing like that. And I was nervous. I was hyped up. I was amped up. Let's go. And I look at them now going, God, did I even slow that down at all? I played at about the same tempo. So we're going to break this thing down. And I'm going to play 2 of my licks for you guys. And we're going to break them both down. We're going to do lick #1, which is the Hero Lick. And we're going to do lick #2, which is Chuts. So let's talk about the Hero Lick. Let me play it for you once. Now we're going to go moderate tempos, all right? I'm not going to use a met. I'm just going to count it off, and you guys are going to stay with me, okay? Hopefully they got that music scrolling at the bottom. It's only 2 bars. It's probably just sitting there. But let's just do a nice, easy tempo right about here. Nice and easy. 1, 2, here we go. Now, let's break this thing down. Whenever I break down a lick, whenever I break down a musical phrase, I want to get the phrasing. I want to get the accent pattern. I want to get the feel of what these 2 bars are supposed to be. So if we look at just that accents, what we have, if we take away the embellishments, you take away the diddles, you take away the flams, you just play a check. It would be this. 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, just sing it. And that's our phrasing. 1 and 4 4. So that's what we're thinking about. Let's go even slower. 1, 2. So that's our phrasing. We now have that in our head. Da, do, da, do, da, 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 Now let's break it down a count at a time. That first count, what is it? It's 4/16 notes. You got a flam on the first note, and you got a flam on the last note. 1, E, and Middle 2 notes are taps. So we have and flam, tap, tap, flam. 1, 2, first count only. One more time. 1, time. Now let's talk about flams. Flams, whenever I break down flams, I try to do muscle memory with everything we do, but especially flams. You know, and what I mean by that, if I just play continuous flam accents, which is what that first count pretty much is. If I just play continuous flam accents, how am I going to work that? How am I going to get my hands to understand that? Well, I'm going to break down one hand at a time. So if I'm playing flam accents, I'll go a little slower. If I put my left hand on my leg, flam accents are an accent with 3 taps. What about the left hand? Same thing, an accent with 3 taps. So if I go back and forth, I can make up an exercise. And what we do when we're doing one hand at a time, we're creating muscle memory. I know my muscles have to do that in order to play flam accents. So we make up exercises to control those flams, to get that muscle memory going. Muscle memory is something extremely important to us, marching percussionists, rudimental drummers, whatever you want to call us, right? Because that's what creates our muscles to be able to play the vocabulary that we want to play. The repetition is a good thing. So the more we work on that muscle memory, and I do that with all flams. Anything flam related, I break down one hand at a time to get that muscle memory so I know what my hands have to be able to do before I could even put the rudiments or the phrase together. So let's talk about that first count, that flam accent. One more time. Now we get that diddle in there, flam drag. And. So we started that flam accent, but we're making that second note now a diddle. All right. How do we practice flam drags? Well, going back to the one hand method. We now know the diddle comes on the third note if you're playing successive flam drags, the third note of that tap. That's why they're so hard. You got to play that diddle on the last note of those taps. Again, muscle memory. So the first count of that hero lick, 1, 2, here we go. One more time. Now let's look at that second count. What do we got? We got nothing on the downbeat. All right. So it's a to E and a to E and a 1, 2, just the second count. 1. And what we did is that left tap, and we got a flam tap, right, with the accent on the flam, and then the release with that left hand. First 2 counts. 2. Here we go. Again. One more time. I lied again. Look at the third count. What do we have there? If you just look at the base of it, it's a paradiddle diddle, right? Paradiddle diddle release. That's the sticking. But we're going to add that 16th note in there on the first part of that left hand, the ticka 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 da. And then the 32nd notes are going to be the paradiddle diddle. Now, what I like to do a lot, and you've probably heard this before, is I do a lot of double accents for paradiddle diddles. Meaning I'm going to do a double accent on the diddle diddle is played low. So you have. I love that sound of just the notes kind of falling in there. Okay, so if you just look at count 3, 1, 2, count 3, we're going to release with that accent. And. One more time. Can we put those first 3 counts together? I think we can. Here we go. 1, 2. One more time. Look at count 4. 4E and a 1. 4E and a 1. Right, left, 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 right. And yes, we're gonna release that with an accent. So those first 4 counts, and let's do this. You know, another good way to break things down, which I like to do a lot. If I'm taking the normal tempo, let's say we're at 120 right now, okay, or give or take. So a little slower than 120. I'm gonna play those first 4 counts at this tempo. 1, 2. One more time. What I like to do is go half time. So this is the same tempo I was just doing. Instead of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 E and a 2 and a 3 E and a, here we go. Two. Again, control those heights. I always like to go half time, half tempo, all right? Just to make sure we understand what those heights are doing and make sure that interpretation is what it needs to be as well. So let's go on. Let's look at that second measure, the last measure. All right, we started out with these 2 big accents, and yes, they are diddles. So it's a 5-stroke roll with a low release. One more time. Now, what I like about this is basically counts 1 and count 2, they go together, okay? It's not over the bar line, obviously, but it's over the count structure. Because what we're doing is we're playing a 5-stroke roll, and then we're going to a paradiddle diddle. Paradiddle, count 2 starts, second part of the diddle for the paradiddle diddle. So if you just look at that, again, look at that accent pattern, going back to our skeleton. 1 E and a 2 E and a down. 1 E and a 2 E and a down. So we have our 5-stroke accented, low paradiddle, diddle. And then we got again the double accent paradiddle, diddle that we had in the first bar. 2, ready, go. One more time. So that's those first 2 counts of that second bar. And how are we going to finish this thing? We're going to finish it with, remember the phrasing, da 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 da, and 3 E and a 4, 3 E and a 4. That's the phrasing. How are we going to end that? Well, those accents are going to be flams. And what we're going to do is we're going to double up that left flam. Little cheese action. One more time. So if we just take the second bar, and we're going to go halftime. All right, so we're, let's say, here's the tempo. 1 E and a 2 E and a, here we go. 1, again, ready, go. So as you can see, the paradiddle diddles stay down, except that double accent on the on that second one. Can we play the entire hero lick? Let's give it a shot. Let's go slow, as in halftime slow. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, 4 and. That is the hero lick. Not any other interpretations that I've heard people playing and missing some of the heights and if they're diddles or not diddles or double accented paradiddle diddle or not. So up to tempo once. 1, 2. And why this lick became so popular is they put it at the beginning of every Skojo lick of the week. It's like the background lick that it does during the intro. So it became very popular. A lot of people wanted to play it with me. And now you know how to do it. You know, if you want to break it down other ways, there's so many other ways to break things down. And I think that's really healthy to break things down as much as you can. You know, one of the ways I would also break it down is like take out all the diddles. Just play the skeleton without the diddles, meaning all the paradiddle diddles. Those become 16th notes. The diddles, the 16th note diddles become 16th notes. You just take out, you know, the flam drag. There's no drag for the flam. So if I was to play the lick without diddles, we'll take it slow. 1, E, and 2, E, and here we go. One more time. So I'm just working the lick now with no diddles in there at all. All right, and that's another skeleton version of how to break things down. You know, when you're breaking down a phrase, an 8-count phrase, a 37-count phrase, whatever you're doing, break it down as many different possible ways you can. Because the more you break it down, the more you're going to understand it. And the more hopefully you can relate this to these and you can perform it. Lick number 1, hero lick, congrats, now you got it. Let's look at the infamous lick number 2, Chuts. What is a Chut? Well, a Chut is what it sounds like. Chut. It's 2 flams together, all right? With usually a tap in there somewhere. This lick, if you look at the music that I have that I sent with it, I wrote in the grace notes because I think it's real important getting back to that muscle memory thing again, like we talked about in lick number 1, to understand what it takes for your muscles to be able to play this lick. So this lick is a 4-bar lick, and it's basically a repeat. 2 bars, repeat 2 bars with little inflections on the 4th bar. But let's just break down what right hand does. We're in 12/8, so we're dealing with triplets. This whole lick is based around in 12/8, and we're going to go a little bit slow. And this is what the right hand does for the first 2 bars. Let's go about 1, 2, 1, 2. Two. Keep the tempo right here. So a lot of right hands in a row. All right, especially when we get this thing flying at the correct tempo. Muscle memory. That's what we got to figure out, is what that right hand has to be able to play this lick. And that's just 2 bars, all right? If we do all 4 bars, it's going to be basically a repeat for the right hand. So it'll be 1, 2, ready, go. Understand that? Now let's look at that left hand. What does the left hand do? Well, it's got a lot of the grace notes in there, just like the right hand. There's variations of the right flam, left flam accents, and some of them low, some of them high, as in accented. But the left hand, if I was just to break down the heights of just the left hand, and we're going to do this a little bit slow. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, left hand. So that's just breaking down the left hand. So that's our muscle memory for that left hand. You know, and the more we do that, the more repeats we do on that, the more repetition we do on that, the more comfortable our hand's going to be able to do to control those accents to the taps. Obviously, when you're doing phrases like this, the hardest thing to do is come out of a tap and get that accent. It's easier to go accent and down, but it's always a little bit harder to re-grip and come up after that tap to get that accent. So I'm going to play this lick now, just so we understand what it is. And I'm not going to use the diddles yet, which are just on bar 4, which are just some left cheese. But I'm going to play it nice and slow, and hopefully the correct heights. And we're going to go right about this tempo. 1, 2, 1, 2. Again, I messed up one of the heights. again. So I'm relying on that muscle memory to be able to perform this and make it as consistent as possible. Let's talk about flams, especially all you indoor drumline snare drummers that sometimes come to auditions that I'm performing. And I say, play flam accents, and you play this. And I say, what is that? And you say, well, that's flam accents. And I'll say, no, those are two height double stop triplets. You know, it's lately people have been taught to pop their flams, meaning the grace note doesn't exist. You know, our predecessors, our forefathers, they created the word flam for 2 syllables, flam, because there's one low note and one primary note. If we played these, what's the point? All you hear is the accent. So I guess what I'm saying is, don't think you could always pop flams and get away with it. All right? Because it's useless. Why even do it if you're not going to play the grace note where the grace note should go? All right? So when I'm playing patterns like this with a lot of flams in it, I'm thinking of that grace note to be that same space from that primary note, whether it's accented or not, exactly the same every time. Very difficult to do, but that's why flams are going to be around with us for our entire career, because we're never going to master them. There's too many of them out there to master. It's impossible. All right, I've been drumming for a few decades, and I'm still working on my flams, like all of us are. So let me play this lick again, and then we're going to break it down just a little bit more, but I'll show you how we're going to do that. Let's go a little quicker. By the way, let's add those diddles on the 4th bar. And all we're doing is, the 4th bar right now is and the accented left-hand flams, we're going to add that diddle. So we're going to make it a cheese. So we're just going to go, instead of, and get that nice strong diddle up there for that cheese moment, all right? If you don't know what cheeses are, they're a flam with a diddle on the accent. Why they call them cheese? I think they were called cheese dogs originally. They came from that, and it's been around for a long time. We just call them cheese. So let me play this lick at a very, very slow tempo. Like here, we'll do the triplets right about here. And 1, 2, here we go. One more time. So remember, you can also play flams low. They don't have to be accented all the time. All right, but when you do hit those accents, there's got to be a sound difference. So make sure there is a sound difference. So one time up to tempo, at least the tempo I'm giving you right now. 1, 2, we can do this. That was pretty dirty. Again, 1, 2. I broke. Did you see that? I broke. The right hand, it stopped working. We got to do it again. 1, 2, 1, 2. Getting old. We'll take that one. So I hope you enjoyed this ZILDJIAN workout. I had a good time putting it together for you guys. Again, break things down slow. Break them down one hand at a time. Get that muscle memory happen. And enjoy the lick of the weeks. Like I said, it was like 14, 15 years ago we did these. And I know people have still been playing them wrong, so I'm just trying to fix a couple of them for you. Hope you had a good time. I sure did. Thank you, ZILDJIAN, for everything you do for us. I'm out of here. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.